Megan Hicks of I Run Far. I'm with Aliza Lapierre. It's a couple days after her win of the 2021 UROC 100K in Virginia. Hi, Aliza. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me, Megan.
Where are you sitting right now?
I am sitting in my kitchen in Richmond, Vermont.
The northern part of the state?
We are in the northern part of the state, so we're in between Burlington, Vermont and Stowe, Vermont.
And it's like officially perpetual mud season there right now.
It's like mud season, stick season, pretty gray and overcast, damp, wet, cold, and then 5 minutes later, maybe 70 degrees. So yeah, the season just can't make up its mind.
I feel like a lot of people watching this are really going to identify with that. It seems to be that season in a lot of parts of the world right now. Congratulations on your win on Saturday. You said right before we started this interview, this was the first time you left your state since the COVID pandemic started.
That is correct. Actually, the only time I've left the county is a few times to go skiing at Stowe, which is about 20 minutes away from my house. So leaving the state was a pretty big deal. We've really adhered to the Vermont state guidelines for COVID protocol, and that meant no traveling for about a year. So it was nice to get out of the state, even though I love it so much. But I also love exploring and seeing different parts of the country. So it was a pleasure.
What made you choose UROC as like the debut post-pandemic event?
I've always wanted to do UROC. It's always drawn a fairly competitive field. They've got some great single track down in Virginia. There's not a ton of racing up around these parts this early in the year just because of mud season and the trails not opening up. So I really wanted to stay fairly close to home. Otherwise it kind of deems going to California or something, which at this point I wasn't ready to commit to just with COVID. So I was lucky enough that Gil and Francesca were welcoming and wanted to have me. And so yeah, it was fun to get down to Virginia and see some more of the landscape down there.
And when was the last time you put 100K on the legs in a day?
Oh, I've definitely done some big training days and some FKT attempts, but it would definitely be last fall. So it's been a while.
Okay. I guess yeah, I was thinking like it must have been a race before the pandemic, but you did something solo or independently during the pandemic that was a bunch of miles.
Yeah, it was probably just about equal to 100K day I put in on the long trail. Much more elevation and technical terrain, but yeah, it was good to get the legs turning over and actually be out running and racing.
Yeah, so what was it like to like be in a race with other human beings and a bib number and aid stations and all those things?
It was almost like a bit of relearning just because all of those things are different now. There's no more normal, you don't just go to pick up and hang out with your friends and pick up your bib. And, you go at a certain time, you socially distant, you wear your mask at the start line, you space out, it's not a mad dash for the pole position off the start. So I was definitely anxious, and I definitely kind of dove into all the protocols deeper just so I was prepared. Aid stations were all single serve food, so everything was prepackaged. There was no community M&M bowl or bowl of chips or anything like that. It was like you're committing to taking a whole little bag of X, Y, or Z. You had to have your mask on, and which is all great because that's how we stay safe. But definitely it looks a little bit different. But overall, I would say the feel of the community and just the encouragement and just the thrill of racing is still there.
Talk about that thrill for a minute, because I think that's something that like is pretty alive in a lot of us, but we haven't yet. There are a few people who've raced, but the majority of people who are watching this are like, they feel that thrill inside of them that they haven't been out there yet.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it started a couple days before, just with the travel. It was exciting to know, packing up all my gear and going through it, and just like the preparation was exciting. And then I was really, really, anxious at Biv pickup and then on the start line, and almost to the point where I was like, is this worth it? Like, is what I'm feeling worth it? And then as soon as we kind of spread out and we were all just out on this beautiful open landscape, it was like, oh, this is why I do it. And like literally we were all cheering for each other and saying hello and like almost letting our guard down. And it was just like, okay, this is why I do it. This is what I've missed. I missed being around these amazing people. We're all out here competing, but we're all also out here supporting each other. And it was just like really touching, and like I just felt a lot of gratitude to be able to be back out there.
You won the race by quite a lot.
Did.
How is that? I'm hearing lots of people talk about how the last year has really affected their competitive mindset, just changed it in some way. Has that changed for you? Did you feel like the fire of the past, or what was it like competitively?
It was kind of interesting. I mean, leading up to the race, it kind of became clear that the competitive ladies that were originally signed up weren't going to be able to attend. Alyssa St. Laurent was from Canada and she couldn't get across the border. And she and I have sort of battled in some Western states events and other events. So, I was looking forward to pushing her and having her push me. And of course, just seeing her. Corinne Malcolm was originally signed up, and Corinne and I have battled, and unfortunately she got injured. But my coach really reminded me, like, it doesn't matter who's on the start line, like you're there to do your best and to compete against what you can do. But over the past year, I think my mindset has shifted a little bit. Like my running group has changed some. I'm running with this fantastic group of ladies who we call ourselves the Woman of the Wilderness. So we call ourselves the WOW group. And we just go out and do these epic adventures, and we laugh a lot. We cry some, like our pace doesn't matter, but like we always have the most incredible stories and like overcome things we never thought we could. And before I was more like time and distant, like always looking at my time and my pace and like trying to improve and be faster on certain routes. And during the pandemic, it was sort of like, okay, I'm just going to like slow down and enjoy being out here and enjoy these wonderful women that I'm with, and like sort of help teach them how to navigate the sport and the terrain and like how to be prepared in the wilderness as we take on like big sections of the long trail. So like I've really like, that's like driven me quite a bit, even though that's not like competitive. It's just become like a new passion to help other people learn how to do this and how to believe in themselves. And like, yeah, just teaching people how to get out the door and be prepared has been like sort of what I've been into for the past year.
That's really amazing. And if you're taking adoptees, just right here.
You can adopt me. You have so much skill and ability and know-how.
I think we would learn a lot from each other.
I do too. Yes.
It is still a volatile world. Trail running is kind of coming back, but at the same time as races are happening, many are being canceled or postponed. Do you have plans for the rest of the year?
My plans have recently been canceled / postponed because of COVID and permitting.
I'm so surprised.
So it's kind of in flux right now. I'm not really scrambling to fill my calendar. I'm going to sort of play the wait and see game. And again, my personal comfort with traveling to the other side of the country or trying to leave the country right now is not something I'm really like looking to do. I'm still sort of feeling out the waters and taking little steps. So we'll see. And I'm content with, just big days in the mountains and continuing to explore around here. But I do hope there are opportunities to race as well.
And in the meantime, spend time with the women of the wilderness.
Yes, I missed them dearly while I was racing, and they were, of course, texting me about their epic adventures. And there was a mishap with a cut finger, and how you deal with that with just some hand warmers and some gummy bears, and how you make do.
Amazing. Well, congrats to you on your win of the 2021 UROC 100K. And I really look forward to seeing what does come together for you in the rest of the year.
Well, thank you for your time, and I appreciate all you guys do for our community.
Yay. Thanks, Aliza.
Megan.